In this video, we're going to continue our journey down the project settings by taking a look at the audio settings, and these pop up over here in the inspector. What these are, like all of our other project settings, are global properties that control the audio in your game. Now, the first one is pretty obvious. We have volume. This is a master multiplier for your volume. So if your entire game is too loud or too quiet, you can bring the whole thing up and down right here in the volume. We also have control over the speed of sound. This is in meters per second. So if you want to speed up the rate at which sound will reach the player or slow it down, you can control that here. You can control the Doppler factor. Now, what is Doppler factor?
Well, Doppler is kind of the compression or the stretching of sound. Basically, if sound is approaching you, it's going to raise in pitch. It's actually going to the sound waves are compressing as they reach you. As the sound moves away from you, it's going to lower in pitch because the sound waves are stretching out and taking longer to reach you.
That's right, and you've probably heard this, anytime a police siren has gone by, it gets a really high pitch as it approaches you, and then the pitch starts to kind of dissipate and go down as it drives away from you. That is the Doppler effect. And Unity simulates that on 3D sounds. The Doppler factor allows you to assign a global multiplier to that. So if you need a little bit more of a pronounced Doppler effect, you can raise this multiplier from a value of 1 to higher values. Or if it's too much, you can diminish it as well. We also have the default speaker mode. It's pretty obvious. This is set to stereo by default, but we can set it to raw, we can go down to mono, or all the way up to surround 7.1 or Pro Logic DTS. It's just what kind of audio do you plan on using for your game. We have our roll-off scale, and what this does is this takes the logarithmic drop-off for our sound. So if I come over here and I click on one of our sound effects, here I'm actually using logarithmic roll-off, and what this means is at a value of 1 meter to what looks like not quite 2 meters, we're staying at full volume. And then as soon as we leave that radius, here's how the sound volume is going to drop off as we get away. And if we come back over here to edit, jump down to project settings, and go back to audio, what this roll-off scale does is it allows you to assign a multiplier to that if you need that drop-off to take place more quickly or more slowly. Finally, we have the iOS DSP buffer size. Now, what does DSP buffer actually mean? What does that acronym mean, Lee?
Digital signal processing, or processor, depending on the context. Basically, what's happening is you're converting a digital signal into an audio signal.
Yeah.
And this process takes a finite amount of time to pull off. So you need a buffer to read in the information as you're converting it into an audio signal.
Yeah, and this is something that's really only important if you're working with games for the iPhone or the iPad, anything using iOS. And it's really all about controlling your sound lag. And so if you're not building iPhone games, you can pretty much disregard this. But this is a quick rundown of your audio manager, once again available underneath Edit, down under Project Settings in the audio section, and that will wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.